This is the accusation. They're throwing around the word treason.
I hate to say this, but President Barack Obama, there is now incontrovertible evidence that he was the spearhead of a seditious conspiracy to subvert the will of the American people and overthrow the United States government back in 2016.
They're saying that Obama knew that Russia did not meddle in the election, did not have any impact in the election.
We must, absolutely must, hold every one of these criminals accountable for the crimes that they committed. They are the most heinous crimes committed in American history.
But yet promoted this idea.
James Comey, John Brennan, Clapper, Wright, Biden was in the meeting. They briefed Barack Obama on Hillary Clinton's plan to, quote, tie Trump to Russia collusion lies. It consumed our national discourse for 5 years.
And then there's been some incredible clips of all these different news reporters, CNN and MSNBC, just saying over and over and over again, clear evidence of Russian collusion.
For 20 years, you had Obama and George W. Bush's Department of Justice go easy on this guy. They didn't fully investigate the case. They didn't show any curiosity about the case. And now Donald J. Trump is asking his Department of Justice to show full transparency. And somehow that's a criticism of Donald J. Trump and not Barack Obama and George W. Bush. If you want to criticize the people who aren't showing full transparency, you ought to go after the administrations that went easy on Jeffrey Epstein, the administrations that concealed this case for 20 years, and the administrations that failed to show full transparency.
When a former president's super shiny image gets hit with some straight-up truth, it's like watching a mirror crack wide open. Joe Rogan comes in like a pro, hitting hard with sharp jokes and big punches. Then JD Vance jumps in with quick, sneaky shots that cut through all the fancy talk. What starts as a fun roast turns into a total takedown, peeling off the perfect image to show the messy truth hiding underneath.
Full screen.
What you know now, do you wish you had a third term? You know what, if I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony, I'd be fine with that.
We know he wasn't really running the country.
Yeah.
We used to think he was actually running the country, and now they're like, no, he didn't even see those executive orders. That was all auto-pen.
You know, first of all, I don't believe, whether you agree with me or disagree with me, whether you agree with Donald Trump or disagree with him, I don't believe in hectoring voters. I believe in persuading voters. Your support is not something I'm given or something I'm owed. It's something you got to go out there and work for. So one, I just don't like the tone of going in. I mean, look, the better question for Barack Obama or anybody to ask is not why black men. It's not how dare you not vote for Kamala Harris.
Hey, if you're liking this, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell. The roast kicks off by pointing out stuff Obama's fans don't want to hear about. His smooth speeches, those cool pauses that made people swoon like it was a love song, not politics. Joe Rogan tears it all down like it's just paper. He says behind all that charm was a guy who acted super busy, but didn't do much, like someone slacking at work on a Friday. Joe doesn't hold back, saying Obama could sell hope like it's a toy, but when the cameras turned off, he needed script, a team, and fans who forgot the last 8 years weren't all great.
You ever seen it? No. He gets a glass of Flint tap water, and I swear to God, he drinks it like this. Flushes.
Can I get some water? I really did need a glass of water. This is not a stunt.
Usually when something isn't a stunt, you have to say
It's
that.
100% a stunt. When was the last time a president stopped a speech to ask, can I get a glass of water? They would never do that. They would have water ready for him.
Joe makes it sound like Obama's legacy isn't about big changes. It's about being awesome at selling himself. He could make small steps seem huge and mess-ups look like super smart plans. Joe laughs at how people think the Affordable Care Act was perfect, when really it had tons of problems, like higher prices and broken promises, like a toy that breaks right after you buy it. To Joe, Obama wasn't a hero. He was a guy selling a product that cost more than it was worth.
I think the best people age the hardest. I think Obama was probably like a very idealistic young man
Oh Lord, what's going on now? Who's hollering? I can't even see it.
who really wanted to change the world. That dude aged more than anybody.
I mean, I'm getting old, so I can't hear that well. I can't see that good.
Who aged the least? Trump.
Trump.
Trump just
This is something that
He just brushed that shit off his shoulders like it was nothing.
We knock on wood wherever we may have wood, that I'm in very good health. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the...
Joe makes fun of how everyone focused on Obama's image, like when his tan suit was a huge deal for a week. Not because it mattered, but because the media loved talking about him. Instead of asking why wars, he said he'd end we're still going. Joe says Obama could do something big like a drone strike and still get a magazine cover. He jokes that if looking cool was enough to be a leader, Obama would have been president forever. But style doesn't fix cities, pay bills, or solve real problems.
The amount of backstabbing that's going on.
That's a very disrespectful attack on the American people who deserve the truth. They deserve to have faith and trust in the integrity of our democratic republic, which has been undermined by President Obama through his direction of this manufactured fake intelligence document, knowing that it was filled with lies.
Like when she got into office, you realize like you're not really in control of everything because there's another person who's in control of each individual department, and they'll stop whatever you're trying to do every step of the way. They get in the way of everything. What are you going to do? You're going to replace everything?
Just when Joe's roast is getting hot, JD Vance jumps in with his first big hit. He calls out Obama's "I'm just like you" working class vibe, saying it's fake. Obama talked about regular folks, but it was more for show than real care. Vance says jobs in places like the Rust Belt didn't come back under Obama. They disappeared faster, while he gave speeches about how things had to change. It's like Obama used small towns as a photo background, not something he actually helped.
Obama, during this Kamala Harris administration, it changed my opinion of that guy.
I don't understand how we got so toxic, so divided, and so bitter. And
He said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had. Donald Trump said that.
Did you have a high opinion of him before?
Yeah, I did just as an intelligent person, a statesman. He's probably like caught up in the system. It's very difficult to make real meaningful change. You think you're going to do something, and then you get into office, and you're like, oh God, what a quagmire this place is. But watching him just straight up lie about...
Joe jumps back in, laughing at how Obama acted like the perfect good guy for Democrats. He talked about being open, but his team was super secretive, going after people who told the truth and getting cozy with big tech companies. Joe says Obama didn't just play politics, he made a new rule book for hiding stuff while looking awesome. Joe compares Obama's Nobel Peace Prize to giving a trophy before the game starts, because peace wasn't his focus. Keeping things the same was. Joe also teases how Obama now chills on yachts, makes Netflix deals, and gets paid tons for speeches to the same big companies he said he'd fight. It's so obvious. Joe says it's like Obama wrote the book on cashing in while pretending to hate money.
It's fun because things are actually happening. It's very different than most of the time when people get elected.
And I will shut down the Federal Department of Education, and we will move everything back to the state.
Most of the time when people get elected, they claim all these things when they're running for president. Then they get into office and not much changes.
Individualize education and do it with the love for their children.
And in fact, a lot of what they campaigned on, they don't practice at all. Great example is the Obama administration. The Hope and Change website had to be changed because there was a bunch of stuff in there about whistleblowers.
I don't think Mr. Snowden was a patriot. I called for a thorough review of our surveillance operations before Mr. Snowden made the release. My preference would have been for a lawful, orderly examination.
JD Vance takes another swing, this time at how Obama used race in politics. Not the good stuff like breaking barriers, but how he made it seem like if you didn't like him, you were a bad person. Vance says Obama's Real win was making fans think criticizing him was wrong, while actual fixes for big problems, like money gaps, got ignored for big unity speeches. Vance shows how Obama's bring everyone together image hid how he sometimes split people apart with sneaky political moves.
Well, let me say just a couple of things. First of all, the president has been very clear. We're not shielding anything. The president has directed the attorney general to release all credible information and, frankly, to go and find additional credible information related to the Jeffrey Epstein case. He's been incredibly transparent about that stuff, but some of that stuff takes time. You've got to assemble that stuff. You've got to compile that stuff.
Joe grabs the mic again to talk about Obama's foreign policy. He breaks the no drama Obama idea by pointing out messes like Libya, the never-ending war in Afghanistan, and a Syria plan that kept changing like a kid doodling. Joe says Obama could talk like a world leader, but his choices left friends confused and enemies stronger. It wasn't real leadership, just careful moves wrapped in pretty words.
Obama did it, and it's disgusting. It's a disgusting lie. Let's play it.
Said that there were very fine people on both sides of a white supremacist rally.
You also had people that were very fine people on both sides. I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists.
See, that's crazy. I have never seen that last part of it.
Because the news has said that lie over and over and over and over.
Joe gets personal, joking about how some people still see Obama as a superhero who could save America, ignoring that a lot of today's problems started when he was in charge. Joe compares it to blaming a new homeowner for bad wiring when the old owner set it up. JD Vance lands his last hit, saying Obama helped create the Democratic Party's problems today. His focus on looking good over getting results taught other politicians to care more about social media likes than real laws. Vance says the Instagram-style politics we see now started with Obama's playbook, where image matters more than impact.
Like, I've had candid conversations with Tulsi Gabbard about what it was like.
It's a disservice to the American people that former President Obama's office and others who are criticizing the transparency that is being delivered by releasing these documents. They are doing a disservice to the American people and trying to deflect away from their culpability in what is a historic scandal.
She's a person, she tries to be friends with everybody, tries to reach across the aisle. She's got that whole aloha spirit.
The answer to that statement can very clearly be found throughout all of the documents that we have released, showing that Russia has took action to try to sow discord in the election, but showed no preference for or against any.
Joe wraps it up with a big finish, calling Obama the ultimate trickster, keeping everyone distracted with charm while the real work, or lack of it, happened backstage. It wasn't hope and change. It was hope as a brand and change as a cool word. Joe says Obama could make people think the game was broken when the other side was winning. To Joe, Obama's not a sad story or a bad guy. He's a warning about what happens when people love a show more than results. Every careful word, pause, and smile was part of a game that left people with feelings, not fixes. Joe and Vance say that's the real joke. Obama's perfect image was supposed to be untouchable, but Joe dragged every fancy speech and slogan through the mud. The more he talked, the clearer it got. Obama's image wasn't genius. It was just a good-looking cover for okay results that made people feel good about bad ideas.
This nickname, crazy conspiracy theories. This weird obsession with crowd sizes.
The thing that got me was that very fine people thing, the white supremacist thing. They just kept trying to say that he was a racist.
When he's not complaining, he's trying to sell you stuff. You're running for president and you're hawking merchandise. Gold sneakers, $100,000 watch. Why are you selling a watch? What are you doing?
Which is this thing that I think worked in like 2017. I don't think it works anymore. I don't think people believe it anymore. We've gotten numb to all this.
Joe took apart Obama's perfect leader vibe like a doctor doing surgery. He didn't just point out mistakes. He showed how Obama made big promises and then quietly backed off when it was time to do them. To Joe, that's not just bad leading. It's like a performance where the claps matter more than the work. Every time Joe brought up one of Obama's look at me moments, it felt like a joke no one wanted to laugh at because it was on all of us. When JD Vance jumped in again, he focused on Obama's "I saved the middle class" claim and broke it down. The numbers didn't show a hero for workers. They showed someone who just made old problems look nicer. Jobs didn't come back, pay didn't jump, but the speeches got fancier. Vance said for all Obama's hope talk, a lot of towns just got a quick photo, not real help.
Remember when they gave that speech, when he gave a speech on television, and everybody was like, fuck this. And then they it kind of just went away.
It was one of the most beautiful moments in modern American history. People really actually stood up, stopped a war from happening. I authorize the armed forces of the United States to begin a limited military action in Libya in support of the international effort to protect Libyan civilians.
Joe joked that Obama's post-White House life is packed with the luxuries he once criticized: Netflix deals, book tours, vacation homes. He turned his image into a money machine, while fans still believe he's fighting for them. Joe roasted his failed healthcare rollout, mocked his Nobel Prize free pass, and pointed out that his golden years led to today's political chaos. By the end, Obama's polished image looked cracked, less like a legend, more like a politician who sold style over results.